Good morning, children. Welcome back to our social class.
So, children, the Tughlaq dynasty 1320 to 1414 ruled for nearly 100 years, and the dynasty produced two powerful sultans, Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So, both of them contributed to the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, and this is the tomb of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, which was constructed in the year 1325. So, about Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. So, he was the first ruler of the dynasty and he was an efficient military commander who suppressed the rebellions and consolidated the sultanate. And he was succeeded by Jona Khan, who took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So, now let's see about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So now about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So he ruled during the year 1325 to 1351. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a very powerful ruler. Okay, now let's learn about him in detail. So, as I said, he was a very powerful ruler, and Ibn Battuta wrote in detail about his period. And he tells us that the Sultan had great ideas and plans that failed because the common people could not understand them. And historians are often divided in their opinion about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and the contradictions in his character led some to call him a mixture of opposites. And he could be generous and cruel, or humble and arrogant at the same time. So, which we call as multiple personalities, isn't it? So, he is having a lot of characters with him. And yet, there are others who believe that Muhammad bin Tughlaq was way ahead of his time. So, they believe his projects were well conceived but poorly executed. Okay, planning is well, but the way of execution, how they are finishing it, is not proper. So now let us know more about Muhammad bin Tughlaq's administrative reforms that proved to be impractical and made him unpopular. What do you mean by impractical? Which is not happening, okay, and which made him unpopular, not popular. So now let's see what are the reasons. So first one is the taxation in the door. So Muhammad wanted to expand his empire through conquest. So this meant a large army and increased resources to pay that army. So to get more money, the Sultan raised the land tax in the Doab region, and the Doab was facing a severe famine. You know what is famine? Famine means drought during this period, and to raise taxes at such a time was a mistake. So when we are already under natural calamities and our government is asking to us to pay more tax, what will happen, children? Even for our basic needs we'll be suffering, isn't it? Like now COVID situation, we were all locked up in our houses and we are not able to do anything, isn't it? So at that time when government asks us to pay some tax in a higher manner, will it be possible for us? No. Okay, so many peasants here, peasants means farmers, they abandoned their land and some of them revolted. So ultimately, the Sultan had to withdraw his orders. Next one is about the shift of capital. So in 1327, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to shift the capital of the empire from Delhi to Devagiri, which he renamed as Daulatabad. So this is one of the important thing he did, and he shifted the capital for the following reasons. What are the reasons? The Sultan felt that he would be able to control and administer the empire better from Daulatabad since it was located at the center of the empire. So what does he think? He thinks that since it is located in the middle, he can have a good control over the area. Okay. Next, the Mongols were a constant threat to Delhi. Okay, so Daulatabad, the Sultan thought would be safe from attacks. So since it is in the middle, we'll be safe, like that he felt. So, Muhammad bin Tughlaq ordered the entire population of Delhi to move to Daulatabad, and people did not want to leave their homes but had to obey the Sultan's order. So, however, the Sultan soon realized that it was impossible to keep a watch on the northern frontiers from Daulatabad. Okay, so he ordered a reshift of the capital. So again, what he thought, I have to shift the capital. So all those who had gone to Daulatabad were asked to move back to Delhi again. So just imagine. So the failure of this experiment affected the prestige of the empire, and the kingdoms of the Deccan saw this as a sign of the weak sultanate and began to assert their independence. Okay. So, children, next a comparative study is given in page number 42 in your textbook. You can just go through, okay? So, it is the comparative study between the Khalji rulers and the Tughlaqs. So, first period of rule. So, for Khaljis, it is 1290 to 1320, 30 years. And for the Tughlaq, it is 1320 to 1414, 94 years. And important rulers, Alauddin Khalji, and for Tughlaq, it is Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And remembered for. So Khaljis were remembered for price control measures, okay, and the Tughlaqs for transfer of capital and token currency experiment. Next, empire building. So here for the Khaljis it expanded towards the south and Aladdin kept the Sultanate together. And for the Tughlaqs it expanded southwards, controlled more area than the Khaljis, and foreign expeditions however failed and control over the Sultanate was very loose. Next, about the slaves. So during the Khaljis, in plenty, slaves were in plenty, especially war prisoners. And Tughlaqs also, slaves were in plenty and there was a separate slave market. Next, about the tax on land. So the Khaljis raised the land tax and became the main source of revenue, income for the government. Next, for the Tughlaqs, the land tax was raised further, which led to revolts. Okay. Next, about the army. The Khalji rulers, they kept a large army, paid the soldiers in cash, introduced numerous military reforms. And the Tughlaqs had an even larger army, paid in cash. However, it was not as strong and efficient as under Alauddin. Okay. Next, the Mongol threat. So, for Khaljis, it is ever present, and Aladdin repulsed numerous invasions and kept the Mongols in check and followed an offensive policy. And under Tughlaqs, Mongols were less of threat, but they made some invasions. The rulers followed a defensive policy. Next, about the control over the nobles. So, kept the nobles under control so that they could not revolt. So, the Khaljis were brave. Next, under Tughlaqs, Firoz Shah tried to appease the nobles and the ulemas. Next, opposition. So for Khaljis, Alauddin ruled with an iron hand, crushed all the opposition. So under Tughlaq's numerous revolts rocked the Sultanate during the Tughlaq rule. Next, about religious orientation. So for the Khaljis, it is reasonably secular. Secular means you all know, all one. Next, for the Tughlaqs, under Firoz Shah, Islamic law gained importance. So only importance were given to Islamic laws. Next, the last topic is public welfare. So under Khaljis, it's not very people-centric, and the price control measures, however, did benefit the people. And Tughlaqs, they did more for the people, and Firoz Shah's social reforms and welfare measures benefited the people. So this is very important. You can just go through and make a note. So now answers for quick quiz given in page number 42. Who was the first ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty? It is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Next, who informs us about Muhammad bin Tughlaq? It is Ibn Battuta. Third one, Firoz Shah Tughlaq shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri. True or false? False. Why? Who shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, children? It is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay. Fourth one, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to conquer Dash in Central Asia. It is Khorasan. Fifth one, name one town established by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Any one you can write. Okay, Jaunpur or Firozpur, anything. So next we are going to see about Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So 1351 to 1388. So Firoz Shah was Muhammad bin's cousin. Okay, so he felt that Muhammad bin Tughlaq had failed to consolidate his hold over the empire because he did not have the support of the nobles and the ulema. So Firoz therefore decided to win over the ulemas and the nobles. So he not only gave bigger hectares to the nobles. What do you mean by hectares? It means land given to the nobles by the rulers of the Delhi Sultanate. Okay. So, but he also made those hectares hereditary. That is, from one generation to it will pass on to the other generation. So, to please the ulema, he imposed Islamic laws. So soon the nobles and ulema grew very powerful and they began to influence the policies of the Sultanate. And Firoz Shah's reign witnessed numerous rebellions and the chief being the revolts by the governors of Bihar and Bengal. And the Sultan failed to suppress these revolts. So, Firoz as a reformer. So, Firoz Shah is often called as the reformer king. How was he called? He was called as a reformer king and he did much for his people. He built many canals, tanks, wells, hospitals and rest houses and he established new towns such as Jaunpur, Firozpur, Firozabad and Hisar Firoza. And he also built many educational institutions and many Sanskrit texts were translated into Persian and Arabic during his reign. And after the death of Firoz Shah, his empire disintegrated. That means it was separated. And many regions became independent and soon the Sultanate was reduced to Delhi and its surrounding areas. So the next one is about the Quarazal expedition. To secure the northern frontiers of the Sultanate, Muhammad bin Tughlaq sent an army to the Kangra region, which is modern Himachal Pradesh. You all know where is Himachal Pradesh in the map, isn't it? So after annexing this region, after getting over that region, the army proceeded towards Tibet. So can you find Tibet in the map? Yeah. So there it suffered heavy casualties. Casualties means death because it rained heavily in the mountainous region. So according to Ziauddin Barani, only a handful of soldiers returned from this expedition. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq became very unpopular because of his schemes. So he lost the trust of his nobles, the ulema. Ulema here means the Islamic scholars and the common people. So revolts broke out in Bengal, Gujarat, Warangal and the other places. And two powerful regional kingdoms, Vijayanagar and Bamini, arose in South India and the Deccan respectively. Okay. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq lost control of his empire due to all the failures. So he died in the year 1351. So the next one what you are going to see is Horazan expedition. Okay, so to expand the empire, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to conquer Horazan in Central Asia. It is the name of a place. Okay, you can look at the map given in page number 40. So he raised a large army and spent a lot of money on weapons and other war supplies, and the soldiers were also given 1 year's salary in advance as an incentive. And the expedition was abandoned. Abandoned means what? To give up. Because Muhammad realized the difficulties his army would face in an alien land. Alien means what? Alien land means it is not one's own country, it is a different country. Okay. And the soldiers so recruited were disbanded. Okay. So this was a complete failure. So next is about the introduction of a token currency. So in 1329, Muhammad bin Tughlaq introduced a token currency and there are two views about this experiment. That is, some historians believe that Muhammad bin Tughlaq had plans of conquest in Central Asia for which he needed more money. And we have been seeing children, most of these historians, what they do, they just come, invade the place and they just take over all the wealth. And their main motive is to grab all the possessions and they are in need of more money. Okay, and here others believe that there was a worldwide shortage of silver during this period. So the Sultan thus issued token coins of brass and copper for day-to-day use, and these coins had the same value as pure silver coins, and further they could be exchanged for silver coins at any time for the royal treasury. And Muhammad, however, failed to check the illegal minting of the coins. Minting means producing the coins. So the design of the coins was simple enough for ordinary craftspeople to copy. And as brass and copper were easily available and much cheaper than silver, people bought brass and copper in bulk. Bulk means in a huge amount, and started minting coins at home itself. So the kingdom was flooded with forged coins. That means false coin, it was not original. Okay, and money lost its value. So nowadays we say it as black money, isn't it? Likewise. Okay, so trade suffered as the foreign merchants refused to accept these coins, and the Sultan had to give silver coins in exchange of the forged ones. and the treasury thus became empty. Okay, and the experiment had to be withdrawn, and Bharani wrote the heaps of bronze coins rose like mountains near Tuklakabad. Okay, so about this coins, you have to remember it looted the whole garment and the value was zero. So, student, next we are going to see about the invasion of Timur 1398. So, the final blow to the Tughlaq dynasty was the invasion of Timur, and he was the ruler of a large empire in Central Asia. And he invaded India and looted Delhi, and his army massacred thousands of people. So, they were the reasons behind the death of thousands of people. So, with the plundered wealth, he beautified his capital, Samarkand, and he built elegant buildings, palaces, and mosques. And before leaving Delhi, Timur appointed Khizr Khan as his deputy in India. And Khizr Khan established the Sayyid dynasty in the year 1414. And now coming over to the Sayyid dynasty. So the Sayyid sultans ruled for a brief period, and there were four Sayyid kings. So the first one is Khizr Khan Sayyid 1414 to 1421. So Khizr Khan was a governor of the Multan under Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and after Firoz Shah Tughlaq's death, he supported a son of Firoz in the war of succession. So when Timur attacked India, Khizr Khan joined Timur. And before leaving India, Timur appointed Khizr Khan as the governor of Multan and Lahore and Dipalpur. And Khizr Khan conquered Delhi in the year 1414 and started the rule of the Sayyids. Okay. So now about Muhammad Shah Said 1421 to 1434. So Mubarak Shah. Okay, so you have two names, Muhammad Shah Said and Mubarak Shah Said. So first we are going to see about Mubarak Shah Said. So Mubarak Shah succeeded his father Khizr Khan, and he was a man of vision and could have revived the old glory of the Sultanate. And the nobles, however, were against him, and most of his time was spent in controlling them. Next is Muhammad Shah Said. So in the year 1434 to 1443. So Muhammad Shah was Mubarak Shah's nephew, and the nobles grew very powerful during his reign. Next is Aladdin Alam Shah Said. So Alam Shah was the next ruler, and he lost Delhi to Bahlul Lodi in 1451. And with this, the brief rule of the Said Sultans came to an end. Okay. So we have learnt about Said dynasty, about the four Said kings, Khizr Khan Said. Next one is Mubarak Shah Said. Next one is Muhammad Shah Said. And the last one is Alauddin Alam Shah Said. Children, now we are going to see about the Lodi dynasty 1451 to 1526. So until this period, all the rulers of the Sultanate were of Turkish origin. So the Lodis, however, were Afghans. So first we are going to see about Balul Lodi 1451 to 1489. So the first Lodi ruler was Balul Lodi. So he tried to consolidate the fragmented Sultanate. That means fragmented means what? A far away. If one place is near to us means the other place will be far and far away. That is fragmented places. So Balul Lodi removed rebellious governors and appointed loyal Afghan nobles as governors of important provinces. And at the time of Balul Lodi's death, the Sultanate stretched from Punjab to Bihar. So next we are going to see about the Sikandar Lodi 1489 to 1570. So Sikandar Lodi was the most powerful Lodi ruler, and he annexed Jaunpur and Bihar and signed a treaty of friendship with the ruler of Bengal. And he also initiated many public welfare measures. And for example, like Aladdin Khalji, he tried to lower the prices of all the essential commodities, and he also extended loans to farmers. And Sikandar Lodi founded the city of Agra and made it his capital. And the last ruler is Ibrahim Lodi, 1517 to 1526. So Ibrahim Lodi succeeded Sikandar Lodi, and the Afghan nobles revolted against him. And he, however, defeated them. And to prevent such revolts in future, Ibrahim Lodi replaced senior nobles and governors who wielded a lot of power with younger men. And the displaced nobles conspired with Babur who overthrew Abraham Lodi in the first Battle of Panipat in the year 1526. Okay, have to keep this in our mind. And the Delhi Sultanate provided stability and administration for 3 centuries, and trade flourished due to uniform legal system and currency. And art and architecture also witnessed tremendous progress, and the Bhakti and the Sufi trends became the dominant theme in the lives of the people. So, the remaining things and the developments we'll be seeing in the next chapter. Okay, now quick quiz given in page number 44. So, first question, name Timur's capital. It is Samarkand. Second one, Dash was the governor of Multan. It is Hizr Khan Said. Next, who was the first Lodi ruler? It is Balul Lodi. Fourth one, Dash was the most powerful Lodi ruler. It is Sikandar Lodi. Next, when and between whom was the first battle of Panipat fought? It was fought in the year 1526 between Babur and Abraham Lodi. So children, now a quick recap of what we have learned in this lesson. So we have discussed about 3 dynasties, the slave dynasty, the Khalji dynasty and the Tughlaq dynasty. So first, under the slave dynasty, we saw about Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia Sultan and Balbin. So first about Qutbuddin Aibak. So he laid the foundation of Delhi Sultanate, started the construction of Qutub Minar. Next about Iltutmish. He was a real founder of the Delhi Sultanate. He suppressed the nobles, reorganized the land revenue system, took steps to guard the Sultanate against the Mongol invasions and so on. Next, what about Razia Sultan? She tried to reduce the power of the nobles and undertook several welfare measures. Next, about Balbin. So he was the most powerful ruler of the slave dynasty and he destroyed the power of the nobles, and he introduced the Persian customs to highlight the supremacy of the Sultan. So now coming to the Khalji dynasty. So under Khalji dynasty we discuss about the 2 rulers, Jalaluddin Firuz Khalji and Alauddin Khalji. Okay, so Jalaluddin adopted a lenient policy towards the Mongols, and Alauddin Khalji fixed the land revenue according to the fertility of the land, kept prices of all essential commodities low, introduced branding of horses, and maintained a descriptive role of soldiers, and paid soldiers in cash, and had an efficient espionage system. So about this we discussed in the last video. Okay. And now we discussed about the Tughlaq dynasty. So first we saw about Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, who suppressed rebellions and consolidated the Sultanate. Next about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So he initiated a number of unpopular schemes, increased the land tax in Doab at a time when it was facing a severe famine, and transferred the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, which caused a lot of hardship to people, and introduced a token currency which could be forged easily. As a result of money lost its value and suffered major setback in the Khwarazm expedition, and he raised a large army to capture Khorasan only to disband it later. So everything was a failure here. Okay, and last about Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So he tried to please the nobility and the ulema and gave bigger iqtas to the nobles and imposed Islamic laws, built canals, tanks, wells, hospitals and rest houses, and he founded new towns such as Janpur, Firozpur and others, and he got many Sanskrit texts translated into Arabic and Persian. Okay, so these are the points we have to keep in our mind. So now page number 45, children. First Roman letter, fill in the blanks. The period from 1206 to dash is a period of the Delhi Sultanate. It is 1526. Next, Dash was the first ruler of the slave dynasty. It is Qutbuddin Aibak. Next, Dash was the most trusted general of Alauddin Khalji. It is Malik Kafur. Fourth one, Muhammad bin Tughlaq introduced a dash in 1329, token currency. Next, Firoz Shah Tughlaq founded the towns of dash and dash. Out of any two you can write, okay, Janpur and Firozpur. So in 1398, Dash invaded India. Who invaded India? It is Timur. Next, Dash was the founder of the Said dynasty. Who founded? It is Qisad Khan Said. Next, Dash made Agra his capital. Which Lodi king? Yes, it is Sikandar. Next, you have the crossword puzzle. First, across. Qisad Khan conquered and Dash in 1414. It is Delhi. Next, Jalaluddin Khalji was lenient towards the Dash about the Mongols. Next, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to mint coins of Dash and copper for daily use. It is brass. Next, the nobles and the dash grew powerful under Firoz Shah Tughlaq. It is ulema. Who's called ulema, children? It is scholars of Islamic learning. Next, now down, the most powerful ruler of the slave dynasty. Yes, who is he? Balban. Second one, Alauddin Khalji captured the force of Ranthambore and Dash from the Rajputs. It is Chittor. Fifth one, Dash Khan took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. It is Jonna Khan. Okay, next, match each statement to the sultans. First one, shift to the new capital. Yes, it was done by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Next, let me join Timur. It is Khizr Khan Said. Third one, Rasia will be my successor. It is Iltutmish. Fourth one, I will appoint loyal Afghan nobles. It is Bhalul Lodi. Fifth one, the nobles should perform Sista and salmon bows in my court. Yes, it is Balban. Next, I will make Iktas hereditary. So that is Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So children, complete your assignment neatly in your classwork with legible handwriting. Okay, if you have any doubts, please ask me immediately. Okay children, thank you and have a great day. Stay safe children.